And I think another guy that falls into this category is Joey Wentz, who we haven't really talked about yet, but it's worthy of discussion. He's pitched in 4 games, 7 innings. He's got 7 Ks, does have 4 walks, and he's only given up a run. And the like, I think as a fan base and as people who cover the team and talk about the team, I think we were more or less prepared for the Wentz experiment era, whatever, to kind of ride off into the sunset. Yeah, maybe he could, but there were the fact he didn't have any options available was literally the second sentence after Joey Wentz left-handed pitcher, right? So I think we were, I don't want to say resigned to it, but almost sort of anticipating it in a certain fashion. And to his credit, he's shown that he's still worthy of giving a chance to. And from a empathetic side that sometimes comes out of me, like, I just felt bad for him last year. You know what I mean? This is a guy who
Absolutely.
just had to eat it over and over. And like, if you just know that you're not performing well and there's not really much you can do in the moment, like, that sucks. That sucks. And you could argue maybe he was being asked to do something that wasn't necessarily his best asset, in terms of being a starting pitcher. Worthy of trying, don't get me wrong, but I think we could probably say that's not really in his future right now. So Joey Wentz is a guy to me that I feel comfortable. Well, let me phrase it like this: he's a guy that has the tools, the makeup, the size, all these things that we love enough, and he's seems like he's gone into the lab and done some things that I'm not giving up on that talent as of right now. Now it's only March 10th, something could change. But as of now, I'm leaning toward like still wanting to try to figure it out with a guy that has the attributes of a Joey Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point in that there are some comparables with the Matt Manning. Like, does Wentz have a longer leash than some other pitchers based on potential? And the reality is, yeah, he does. And that's also why I've projected Joey Wentz to make this roster. And what he's done so far this spring has done nothing but remind us, oh yeah, you sure you just want to let this guy go? Because if he gets DFA'd, another team is going to claim him. He's pitched really well right now. I mean, he's earning a roster spot based on performance. Kind of the peripheral conversation aside, AJ Hinch basically said, "I'm proud of Joey Wentz. He knows what's at stake, and he's come out with a good demeanor, and he's pitched really well." So that is the reality. I think it's probably helped that the Tigers were like, "Okay, you're just going to be in the bullpen." Like there's a little bit of a narrow focus in terms of what his role would be, what he had to do to make the roster, and obviously some of the things he's worked on this offseason um, seem to have taken foot. His command's been a lot better. He's been able to execute with the fastball and then get into counts where he's able to use things other than the fastball because the fastball got absolutely crushed last year. It has been refreshing to see the good version of Joey Wentz to be reminded, oh yeah, there's a really good pitcher in there somewhere. Um, so yeah, like Manning and Wentz both fall in this conversation where evaluations can be really tough. It can be tricky to get sold too much on potential. At the same time, it's like, okay, when do you give up on potential? I don't know, because if you give up too early, that can be how people in baseball lose their jobs.
Well, the bottom line is you don't give up on potential when you've had whatever it is, 8 straight losing
And
seasons.
also when you hang on to potential too long, that's how you lose your job too. So it's
It's a
it's
tough
not easy.
game. It's a tough game, absolutely. And like, look, like, if he was 5'11", you're probably not giving him this shot. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. That's how it works. And these things are proven over time, is like these kind of profiles work out more than not. Doesn't mean it will specifically work for him, but you're gonna have to, if you're Scott Harris, AJ, everybody in the brain trust, you're like, do we really just want to let this guy go? Do we really just want to let this guy go? And to me, if you wanted a reaction from him, you got it.